Hey guys, so I did go to the comic book store this past week just to finally pick up what I had. It's been a little while, obviously. Apologies, I'm at that point of the year where I don't have any control of my own schedule. So, kids being off school and things like that. So, finally got over to the store and didn't have a huge amount of stuff, but a pretty good amount. I have been cutting back, but it looks like there's a event going on with the Thor books I didn't know. So, here we go, I guess. So this first is Banner of War, Hulk versus Thor, Part 1, apparently. And this looks to be running through the Thor and Hulk titles. I do not pick up Hulk anymore now that Donny Cates is on it. I did Immortal Hulk, but those first few images from Donny Cates' Hulk run were very, Hulk had armor and tech stuff in it. After the Immortal Hulk was more of a grounded horror book, I wasn't really into that. So, I'm still picking up Thor, but, and realistically, it looked like I had already missed a couple parts of this story just because they were in Hulk, but I'm not going to go back and pick up the Hulk issues. I'm okay with that. So this is Banner of War Part 1 Alpha, so I guess it's separate from the Hulk and Thor books, this first part. As you can see in the bottom corner here, it says 60 years of Hulk and 60 years of Thor. I'm surprised that lines up, honestly. But, at the same time, they did start kind of bumping out characters at a certain point, and kind of went from there. I like this cover. It's Gary Frank, and I always like how his characters look realistic, but at the same time, it has a very, you can always tell it's his art. I think it's the faces with him. Next we have Thor number 25, which is Banner of War Part 2. Unfortunately and to an extent spoiler, because I haven't read the last issue of Thor, which was the funeral for Odin. I guess he's back. He's dead for one issue, maybe, unless this is a flashback. I have no idea. But that seems kind of silly. And again, a Gary Frank cover, you can tell from his faces. When he did Superman, it was very, it looked like Christopher Reeve, but it was also very Gary Frank. For some reason, this issue is $5.99 because it has two epic Asgardian backup stories, which, anything they can get an extra $2 out of you for. And then, last of the Banner of War, we have Thor number 26, Banner of War Part 4. So Part 3 must have been in the pages of Hulk. And again, we have a Gary Frank cover with Thor, or Hulk, I should say, with Thor's cape, or maybe it's Thor turning into Hulk. He does have blonde hair. If this was Hulk, I don't think he'd have blonde hair, but we don't know. And he's smashing the Rainbow Bridge because Thor is angry. So hopefully this is good. I'm not sure how long Donny Cates is planning to be on Thor now that he's picked up Hulk, and I can't remember if he's still on Venom. But staying with it as long as the story goes, and then we'll see who they put on. I must say, with both DC and Marvel, it seems like they have like 3 or 4 good writers per company, and a lot of either up-and-comers or names that I've never heard of, who they're trying to slot into things, and it's very, I don't know, it's hard for me, because I like the established names, and, when I'm trying to cut down, picking up a book from some guy I've never heard of is asking a lot of me at this point. So, if any of these new writers are great, just like the new Hickman, honestly, I don't know. as I've said a few times, the only Batman books or really DC books I'm picking up at this point are the Tom King miniseries. So I'm picking up the Batman Killing Time, Batman and Catwoman if it hasn't wrapped up, and then also the it's not Manhunter, it's like the guy who pretends to be people, and then Human Target. There we go. Totally blanked on that one for a second. Human Target is almost done. Batman Killing Time is only 6 issues, and I think, well, I have 3 and 6 in here, so we might as well. But number 3, I don't know who this guy is. He looks like a vampire. I don't think he's a vampire, but doesn't he look kind of like a, white face and bald? It looks like a vampire. So, this is up to issue 4. Batman Catwoman, I believe, either is recently wrapped up or is about to, and Human Target is about to wrap up. After that, I don't know. Because, Tom King has basically just been on miniseries since his Batman run ended. So, we'll see what happens here. If they keep putting him on miniseries, or if they finally give him an ongoing, or if he even wants an ongoing. I'd be perfectly fine with him doing, I want to do a story about Batman. I want to do a story about Human Target. Just let him do it. Because it's the only good DC that they're pumping out right now. This is British Paranormal Society number 2. I don't know if this is going to be just a mini-series or an ongoing series. It's basically Professor Brutenholm and some investigators that you've found out about through the other Hellboy miniseries in their own book. So it's 1920s, 30s, probably 30s, 40s realistically. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the first issue was good. Almost anything from the Hellboy universe I will pick up because I find them to be very, they're very on point. There's hardly ever an issue where it's just complete garbage or something I won't enjoy. So issue number 2 of that. Chris Robertson has been working with Mignola for quite some time. This doesn't have Mignola's name on the front, but I'm sure he always has something to do with them. Hellboy and the PPRD Night of the Cyclops. This looks to be a one-shot by Mike Mignola. And don't look at the satyr boobies. No satyr boobies. But this looks to be a one-shot of, I don't know how Hellboy would go back to ancient Greek or Roman times, but, well, this would be Greek, wouldn't it? Yes. So I'm not sure how we get there, but we get all sorts of places with Hellboy, don't we? I just noticed I have something. I have that little bit of something on the cover here that was inside the bag. Now I'm being anally attentive and cleaning it out of there. There we go. Back to normal. So again, anything Hellboy I will pick up gladly. Next we have Immortal X-Men number 2. I don't know what's with the X-Men publication schedule at this point. Immortal X-Men number 1 came out at least a month ago, because it was if it wasn't in my last video, it was one before. And here we are finally with issue number 2. It feels like it's been longer than a month, so I'm not sure. I haven't read issue 1 yet, but Kieran Gillen is the writer on this, and if I'm going to read X-Men, not by Hickman, then, he's a good choice. He was on it, I think, shortly after Brubaker, and I did like his initial run, so I figured I'd give this a chance. So I picked this up. I'll have to read issue 1 and 2 and see if it's something that I want to continue with or not. I did when I was in there. I did tell them to drop me off of Spider-Man. I had gotten Amazing Spider-Man #1 just for basically really just because it was in my safer, and I don't, if I don't want to send something back, I try not to. I know that they've put in their orders ahead of time. I feel bad putting stuff back on the walls, but so I read Amazing Spider-Man #1. I mean, they're trying to get you because they've kind of fast forwarded, and Peter's living alone with no friends, and MJ looks to be married with 2 stepkids, and it's like, oh man, what happened? You know what? You've been screwing that relationship up for over a decade now, since One More Day. They had just gotten to a place with this most recent run with Ben Reilly where it looked like they were going to be living together, and they were repairing the MJ and Peter relationship, and then they did this just to get it back to like, oh no, they're separate. You know what? Screw you guys. 10, 20 years of that, we're all done. I don't feel like reading that anymore. They were married at one point. We undid that. Now we can't even have them in an ongoing relationship because Peter has to be a single guy because they think it, resonates with single guy readers. Half of your readers are like 40 and married. Move on with your lives, Maybe now that Joe Quesada's, no longer editor-in-chief, maybe they'll allow Peter Parker to move forward with his life. I don't know. Mini rant there, sorry. Next, we have Usagi Yojimbo #28. These covers by Stan Sakai that have nothing to do with the story, where it's just like awesome Usagi Ronin stuff with mystical BS in the background are always really cool. I like how you can't even tell what the name of the story is, or halfway even see what the name of the book is if you're not a regular. I did happen across the Usagi Netflix show. Just pretend it doesn't exist. It's it's like Usagi's grandson, and it's like the future, and I don't know what they're thinking, because this is an epic, kind of halfway adult, halfway kid story you could do like for teenagers. And instead we got a very juvenile, Usagi space opera. I know. No thanks. Netflix keeps sending me emails like, don't you want to finish Usagi? I'm like, no, I don't. And then finally for the week we have Oblivion Song #36, which I believe is the final issue. It was supposed to be wrapping up soon, and this issue was $5.99, and it's really thick. So I believe this to be the last part of Oblivion Song. Honestly, the only bad part I found about this is it's very intricate, and if I don't read it for a little while, I do tend to lose track of who some of the characters are, especially with the aliens, because the aliens all look more or less the same. Like their facial structure is holes, so it's like who has the most holes in their face, or where are the holes, is how you delineate between characters, and that's honestly kind of hard to do if you haven't read the book in a month or two and you're coming back to it. So today is my down day. I have the day off for Juneteenth, and maybe I'll get around to reading the last few issues and finishing this out. I have a laundry list of things I need to get done. I woke up early to do my workout. I need to play Destiny today to catch up. I plan to run over to the comic book store So I just went to the regular toy area, and there were no clearance action figures. I did pick up one thing that I'll show in a separate video probably later today. But I missed out on the actual clearance section, so I figured since I'm off today and it probably won't be busy, I will sneak in there, get a couple other things I need, and look through the clearance and see if there was anything worthwhile. It sounded like, because my wife doesn't know any of the people, but she was like, there was a Roman. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lot of Roman Reigns, which makes sense. I don't know if there's going to be anything else, but I figure I'd check. If they have any AEW that's cheap, I'll pick that up, maybe, depending on the character. But yeah, I will. The wrestling figure I picked up when I was there in the regular section, and one that I ordered on Amazon that happened to be cheap, I will show you later, along with anything that I might pick up on today's little shopping trip. Not that I need to go shopping, because gas is $6. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed looking through. I wonder where Human Target is. Hopefully I didn't miss an issue there. My comic book store is pretty good about that. So, but I'll add these to the stack